What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to LTH. My name is Abe, and don't forget there are timestamps down below in this video if you'd like to skip to any one specific part. But if you are new here, this is a standalone video, but this video is a part of our series on how to set up a HomeLab, which you're seeing on the screen right now. And in this video, we're going to be covering Linux hardening and a 6-video part series because I wanted to keep these videos nice and short for you. But we are going to cover within the next 6 videos how to enable automatic security updates, SSH Key Authentication, enabling the firewall, installing fail to ban, removing unnecessary package, and upload your public SSH keys to GitHub. Alright guys, so welcome back to episode 2, and in this episode we're going to go over SSH Key Authentication for Linux hardening. Now this is a part of 6 videos. If you have not seen the other ones, you can find them on our channel linked down below. So in this episode, we need to create an SSH key that will allow us to upload it to our server to get rid of password authentication because that's not as secure, and it is a security risk as well. So what the first thing you need to do is open up your CMD, and well, we already have it open, right? But normally you would open your CMD, and then we can just open a new tab in our case and just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 so you guys can read it. And we need to run the following command. And this is going to generate an SSH key for us with this ED25519, which is a relatively new encryption standard and recommended by default by Linux servers and many administrators, but you might need to switch this to like RSA 256 or something like that if your system or systems you're connecting to are more legacy and do not support that ED25519. And then you need to quite literally put in your email address here. And so we will put in our learn2homelab@gmail.com and click enter, and then enter the file in which to save the key to. So this is automatically where Windows saves our keys. Right in here, we don't need to change anything, enter. And if you want to enter a passphrase, you can. This is essentially saying, hey, let's say your computer gets hacked and someone wants to use your private SSH key, they would then need to enter this passphrase to be able to use it even if they stole it. So it's an extra level of security, but it leads to complication, and for the purpose of this video, we're not going to worry about that. Skip again, and we are good. So that key has been created. So remember, we have a private key and a public key. The private key never, ever, ever, ever leaves your computer, only the public key. And so what I need to do is go into my local disk, and I need to essentially navigate to the location of that SSH key. Okay, and so now I am in that folder again, my local disk, my user, learn, and then the .sh folder. And then once again, you're like, well, which one is it? Well, we know it's the ID 255191 because that's essentially the encryption standard that we used, right? And if we want to view the extensions, we're going to do view, we're going to go to show, and then we're going to show file name extensions like this, and it makes it really easy. The .pub is the public one, right? And so that's the one that needs to go onto our server. And so uploading your SSH key in Windows to your server is pretty easy. I'm going to grab this command, which is again linked down below in our walkthrough tutorial. And under the same command window, I'm going to type out this command. And so there's just a couple things in here that you need to switch. So, whoops. So the first thing you need to do is your SSH key name. So remember, we're already user profile. So this is a wildcard. User profile.ssh.your SSH key name. And again, our SSH key name is right here. And so I'll just back this up and then type it like that. And then this is an SSH command to the device that we're connecting to, right? And so in our case, it's going to be the username learn at 192.168.50.187 because that is this device, right? And I can verify that with IPA 187. And so I click enter, and then it asks for the password of that device, and then it's done. If we don't get anything back, it means it worked, right? And so what it does is it makes a directory out of this SSH and then it cats that file into our authorized keys folder on our Linux machine. And so we can check the following folder to ensure it's there. And so in here, we're going to do change directory with cd.ssh, click ls. There's our authorized keys file. And so we'll do nano authorized keys. And to finish typing that out, I just clicked tab and click enter. And we can see our SSH key right in here, which is our public key. And click X. So it did successfully go from our machine over to our Linux box, okay? And then if we want to go back to our root folder, we just type cd with the little squiggly mark, which is right below your escape key on your keyboard, just to get back to our root folder for the user. And then one of the things, just as best practice, is to ensure it has proper permissions with this change mod commands to just be able to read essentially from that authorized keys folder. Okay? And now the next thing we need to do is disable password authentication. That is going to be done in the sudo nano etc sshhd _config file. Okay, and so within here, we want to edit the following parameters, which are the password authentication, and set it to no, and permit root login to no. A little bit of hardening, right? So we got to look for them in here and find them. So the first one I'm going to look for is password authentication, which is usually under this authentication section, but I actually can first see the permit root login is right here. So I'm going to uncomment that, and you can leave it as prohibit passwords. More than likely that would work fine, but I'm just going to switch it to no. And then the other one, once again, we need to find is password authentication. So we're going to look for one that starts with P. Right there, password authentication, and then type no, and click Control X, the letter Y, and enter. And then depending on your system, you might have another folder in your cloudy NIT configuration file, which is this right here, that also has it. So we can see this one does. Your distribution might not. But we want to also switch this one to no, because if we don't, although the other file says no, this one will still allow users to be able to log in with their password. And then we click enter, and then we need to restart our SSH service with sudo systemctl restart SSH to apply those configuration files. And then we need to exit our machine. And now we want to try to log in again, right? With SSH, your username at the IP address. And I'm going to click enter. And we can see it did not ask for a password. That's because it used the SSH key, right? Instead of asking for a password. So we know it worked. If it did not work and it still asked for a password, we would know password authentication is still enabled, right? And so that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoy. I hope that makes sense. Please stay tuned for the third part of this series of how to harden your Linux machine, which is enabling the firewall.